Welcome to another edition of the Commissioner's Corner here in the WCHA. Excited to have a Maverick with me today. It's a big week in Maverick land, so we have lots to talk about in terms of what's happening in what we're calling Hockey Week Mankato. But before that, let's get to know our guest. Joining me is Taylor Wemple, senior defenseman, Maplewood, Minnesota native. So hi, Taylor, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for joining me. I really can't wait to talk about what's kind of happening this week and what's coming. But if we don't go backwards first and start with how awesome the weekend was for you all, I think we would be missing something. So for those that don't know, a pretty substantial win for the Mavericks on Saturday. They beat the University of Minnesota at Ritter. The first time in 15 years or 53 games, whichever number you want to count, which when I say it out loud, it's sort of like, holy smokes, right? So clearly an incredible night. Kelsey knocks in the goal in overtime, and the emotion was palpable from a screen. So I'm curious from your perspective, what was it like in that moment when that goal went in?
Yeah. Well, I was still just like trying to catch my breath the whole entire game. Coming back from winter break and then our games get canceled with Syracuse, and then you have to jump in and play the U right away. So I'm like, oh my gosh. And the whole game, like, I'm just dog tired. So I'm trying to like catch my breath, whatever. And then all of a sudden it just went in. And I think for a moment, like everyone was kind of like, what? Because like no one jumped off the bench like right away as it happened. Cause we're all just like, that actually like happened? Like, did we actually finally beat them? So yeah, once that all clicked, then everyone just, rushed off. And, I don't think it kind of like hit until like we were on the bus ride home and we're like all talking with each other, like, oh my God, like we actually did that. Like, that was really great. And it was just like all like such a big team effort. And I think like everyone was just rooting each other on, especially it was like a tough game the day before, we scored the first one and then it was like, oof, like everything that could go wrong, it went wrong. So to actually like come back and like get a win from like such a high loss the night before, it was really amazing.
Yeah, to your point.
And especially against the Gophers. No animosity towards them, but everyone wants to beat the Gophers. So
fair. That's fair. I think watching it, I can see that what you're saying, because Kelsey scores and she puts her hands up, and like it took a second for anybody even to get to her, because I think there was kind of that like that was it moment, and even for those of us watching, there was a pause, but then just the excitement. And I know it's been I think for your team looking back years from now, it'll probably mean more than it does in this moment, because you're just focused on what you're doing. But I know in talking to coach after the game, like just the battle back from the night before, what you just said, like to come out and stay with it and to battle and get that win is pretty awesome, and clearly gives you some momentum heading into the weekend. So that was kind of my next question, is how important do you think that momentum is as you kind of prepare for the home stretch here?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you can't get too high and you can't get too low. You got to always stay neutral. And, we've learned the hard way and kind of the easy way sometimes that, everyone in this league, you can think whatever you want to think about them, but, they can beat you and you can beat them. So that's like the same thing with St. Thomas. Like, we swept them our first series, but like, you never know what may happen. Obviously we're hoping for a win, but we can't, hang our confidence on like, oh yeah, we beat the Gophers, so this is going to be like an easy weekend, because like every weekend in the WCHA is not easy at all. So yeah, we just got to stay neutral and level headed, even though it is going to be an exciting game on Sunday, but we just can't get too giddy about it, I guess.
Yeah, you just said it. I don't think easy weekend is something that anyone says in our league ever. It's just not a thing. Every weekend is a challenge for one reason or another. So I'm curious, Taylor, I want to talk a little bit about kind of your college hockey journey. So you started your college career, like I said, you're from Maplewood, go not terribly far away to St. Cloud, there for a couple of years before making the move to Mankato. So why Mankato, and how was the process like for you when you were making that change?
Well, I kind of started, like back when I was in high school. And I gotta say this disclaimer, else because my mom's gonna watch this and she gets mad that my bio still says I live in Maplewood, but I don't live there. I live in Lino Lake. So I gotta say that for her because she asks me every time to change it. I'm like, I can't change it.
Got it. Mama Wemple, Lino Lakes. I got it. Unload it. We'll get it changed.
Yeah. But so yeah, I starting in Hill Murray, I was committed to North Dakota, and then my senior year, everything fell apart, and it was towards the end of towards graduation. I was like, oh, what am I gonna do? And it was just like a really tough, experience. And Mankato was, one of the first schools to reach out to me. And then, I toured the campus, I toured other campuses too, and I just decided on St. Cloud because I knew some of the girls that were already playing there and they just had great things to say about it. So I was like, yeah, like it, it seems kind of like home here. I'm going to pick St. Cloud. But then obviously I had my time there and it was great. I made really good friends and I had some great experiences, and I'll always remember my time at St. Cloud. But I decided it was, time to move on, and I wanted to kind of change, my perspective on hockey and everything about myself. And because I got to know some of the girls at Mankato, they had nothing but great things to say about their program, and how it was up and coming and kind of like an underdog. And I was like, yeah, I like that. So I think it was right when I got in the transfer portal, like 20 minutes later, I heard from Harrington. And just like immediately I was like, yeah, I want to go to Mankato. Like I know people there, and the coaching staff, like they're really hands-on. And yeah, so I've been here for 3 years now and I love it.
Good decision.
Yeah, it was really good. I have the best friends here, and I love my team. So that's all I can say is it's just a really great program. And my path is untraditional, North Dakota, St. Cloud, now Mankato, but I wouldn't change it for anything.
I feel so proud of so many young women in our league who were going to North Dakota or had committed to North Dakota and, found an alternate route when it wasn't your fault that you were needing to find an alternate route. So I'm always so cognizant and thankful that you stayed in the league because our league needs you and you're better off for it, I think too. So it'll always be part of your journey, which I think it has already shown you that you can overcome adversity and overcome challenge. And that's a huge part of, going through the college experience. Mm-hmm. So I mentioned it at the top. I think everyone in Mankato is calling it Hockey Week, right? That's what's happening right now. So obviously the traditional Hockey Day Minnesota is going to be Saturday with the games at the Blake, but there's games all week, events all week. Mm-hmm. Like the amount of excitement around the city of Mankato right now is palpable. But for you, it's like even a bit more unique because you played in Hockey Day Minnesota while you were at St. Cloud. So second opportunity for you, second go around. So I'm curious first, just tell me about that experience the first time with St. Cloud. What was it like playing as part of Hockey Day, growing up a Minnesota kid and knowing, how special that day is? What was that experience like?
Yeah, I might even get emotional talking about it. I was thinking about it last night too, and I was getting a little teary-eyed. I was like, oh my God, like when, we first stepped out, we were able to practice on the outdoor rink before our game that afternoon. And just the whole setup and just how the Hockey Day committee, year in, and I can't even speak right now. I'm stumbling on my words because I'm trying to think, but even so the committee at St. Cloud, they did a phenomenal job, and it just made everything feel so like I was back, I was a kid again, and it was such a small environment but still big, and just being out there and skating around, and especially with game time, I kept crying in between periods or whatever, because I'm I literally it opened up so many memories that I'd forgotten about of just being a young kid and playing outside for fun. And of course you're playing in like a game that actually means something. It's like kind of serious.
Matters. Yep.
Yeah, but like it was still like, even if we were gonna lose that game, we didn't. We won in a shootout, by the way. But
Get that plug in. Got it.
yeah,
1-0 right now.
But like, even if we were gonna lose, like, I don't think anyone really thought about it because we were just having so much fun, and like just being back outside and like reliving those memories while creating new ones. It was amazing. And like all the people that showed up, we were all blown away. And like we didn't know that many people, I mean, played hockey or like lived in St. Cloud that much, but like they were all there and like they wanted to meet us and, you know, talk to us after the game and like get pictures, like all the like the young girls and stuff, and even some like young little boy hockey players. Like it was an amazing experience, and like I'll always remember it. So that's why I'm super excited for Sunday, because I'm gonna like probably cry all over again.
You're going to cry maybe because you can just blame it on cold weather. You're going to be so cold that the tears are going to come. So we can blame it on that. Don't worry.
Yeah, but no, we're all super excited. And, you know, I'm excited to see like who's, you know, going to show up to the games, like how many of the youth programs, because, you know, Mankato is southern Minnesota, and not a lot of people know that like there's hockey programs here. So I would say like compared to up in the cities, you know, the youth programs are a bit smaller. Especially for like the girls too, but I'm really hoping that especially this game and like this whole entire week just like you know, builds up Mankato hockey, and like not just for like college and not for like the young girls that, you know, are in high school and want to play here. Like I hope it's for like everyone, and even the young boys too. Like this whole week is just amazing. Like Sherry, our coach, she's been there every day this week so far with her kids, just skating and stuff and watching games. And you know, that's just like all we can hope for is like the future generations, is that like they can experience something like this. And like I think this is the first time Hockey Day has ever been Hockey Week, and like the committee is just doing like an amazing job. Like the setup is beautiful, and you know, just getting everyone involved and included is just like, you can't ask for anything more. Like it's really great.
It's going to shine. It already has been, but it's going to shine as an incredible spotlight on the city of Mankato and your facilities and your teams. And I think, you know, for knowing a bit about organizing events, that's like the ultimate. Like if people walk away having had a good time and having been exposed to something that they enjoyed, and you're creating lifelong memories for 3-year-olds and 53-year-olds. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things, because we all know that hockey is a sport that brings people together, particularly in our state. So I know that those of us coming down are also very excited to get down there and just see it. I keep seeing, you know, things on Twitter and pictures, and the setup looks phenomenal. And I think I just can't wait to see it in person. But I feel like you have an advantage a little bit because you have gone through the experience. So like, what are you telling your teammates? I'm assuming they're just as excited as you are. So like, what's the message about, you know, trying to be ready and what to wear and all of those things?
Obviously it's a pretty cold week down here. We have to go over and do, cause it's Hockey for Her Day. So we have to go over there later this evening and sign autographs and watch the games. And everyone's just kind of like scared about how freezing it's going to be just sitting there. And then, you know, thinking about, oh, well, we're going to be playing and, you know, sweating and stuff. What are we going to wear like underneath our gear? Cause, you know, once you get off the ice and rest on the bench, like your sweat's going to freeze. So obviously wear the long under jock stuff, might have to double up on the t-shirts. But no, I think everything will just be great. Even if you're freezing, like we'll make it through it. Like it'll just be so much fun that, you know, you won't think too hard about how freezing you are.
Yeah, for sure. How do you think the team will stay focused to make sure that Friday night's game up here against St. Thomas, you know, obviously there's so much excitement that you can't lose the fact that you've got a game Friday before the game Sunday. So, you know, is that a conversation that you're having in practice right now to try to keep everybody focused?
Yeah, coach definitely brings it up for sure. You know, us girls in the locker room, like we talk about whatever we want to talk about, but mostly we talk about Sunday. But yeah, no, practice all week has just been like not pretty hard, but like, you know, hard skating, just like stay focused. And we got things to do on Friday and then there's Sunday. So it's just kind of in the back of everyone's head, like, you know, just do what you need to do on Friday and then, you know, have fun on Sunday.
Yeah, I hope that it's really fun. I know both teams. I know St. Thomas's student athletes are also, you know, really looking forward to it. Both of your teams are predominantly Minnesota players from the state of Minnesota, I should say. So it's, for many of them, a dream come true and a dream times two for you. So now hopefully if I do see any tears, I'll just make sure to give you a little hug. But it's been so fun this week on our social channels. We had asked both teams to share some, you know, pictures of yourselves when you were young and stories about being outdoors. And it really is just reaffirming for me how much that is a staple of growing up and playing hockey in Minnesota. There's an outdoor component to that. So I'm super excited to see it come together on Sunday. And it'll be really great to see the alumni game before your game. And there's just so many cool things about it. So let's switch gears. Tell me about Taylor. Tell me about your family. Tell me about how you got into hockey. Like, let's go that route.
Yeah, so I started learning how to skate when I was like 4 or 5, I think kindergarten age. But it all started because, you know, one day my brother was like, I want to play hockey. And of course my dad's like, next day just gets all like the cheap gear from Play It Again. He's like, all right, let's try it. And I got jealous of him because it looked like he was having so much fun out there. And, you know, I remember this one memory, you know, I was little, but my brother kept having like these really early morning practices, but of course I can't be left at home alone. So I'd be asleep in the car and then I'd be asleep at the rink too, but I'd wake up and I would just hear their little like stick handling drills on the ice. And because of like that noise, I was like, oh my God, I like that noise. Like, it's beautiful. And it looks like so much fun. So I told my parents, I was like, I want to play hockey just like Jake. And which is my brother's name. And of course my dad was all on board. He's like, all right, grew out of this stuff, you can have it now. And like my mom was totally against it too, because she was like, she not played figure skating, she figure skated, that's how she knew how to skate. And she was under the impression that, you know, girls hockey, like, oh, they're just gonna like, that's a boy sport, you can't play that. And so she tried to make it, you know, a little bit that I wouldn't play. And of course my dad was like, no, she's gonna skate, like,
she's gonna do it.
Yeah. Absolutely hated it at first. My feet hurt so bad, but I blame it on my brother's skates. So but you know, once I got used to it, I had so much fun growing up playing hockey. But I come from, family-wise, I come from 2 separate households. So that's why I live in Lino Lakes part-time with my mom. And then my dad moved out from our childhood home to like Weyerhaeuser, Wisconsin. So okay. Yeah, in between here and there. But yeah,
Does your brother still play hockey?
No, he quit in high school and decided to join theater. So
okay,
yeah.
Well, something else, that's okay.
Yeah, he was pretty good at it though. And then he joined speech team too. So I was kind of jealous because I'm like, I don't know how you have the confidence to do any of this stuff. Like, I could never get up there and like do like a speech debate, but he made it to state and everything too. His first year he did, I was like, wow, okay. But yeah, so everything's great. He did his own thing, and you know, I was obviously like really supportive with my family members. Hockey's not cheap, so wasn't like the easiest sport to be in, and I thank my parents and I feel bad for them sometimes, but you know, they had a great time too. And
how does your mom feel now that you're still playing and playing collegiately? How long did it take her to come around?
Honestly, I think she started really liking it when I was in like U10s because of all like the out of town like tournaments we'd get to go to. So she, you know, had a lot of like great relationships with the other parents. Yep. And once she noticed like, oh, this is really like, I'm having fun. And like the kids are having fun too. And they're actually pretty good. Then she was like, yeah, I'm all for it. And now she's like my biggest fan. Yeah. And she's my biggest supporter for sure. Even if I'm played terrible, like she'll let me know. They're like, not your best, but great job anyway. Love you.
I'm taking notes. So when my kids are, and when I get to that space, that I'm going to go with that. Yeah, it wasn't your best, but, you know, right. That's good. That's a good lead.
Not the best, but not the worst. Like,
love that. I love that so much. I've heard from several parents over the years that, and I've seen it happen. And I saw it happen with my own parents actually too, that sometimes when your collegiate activities are done, even in high school, when students are done playing something that they've, done for years, and it really has become a family thing, not necessarily, it's not just Taylor playing hockey, it's Taylor's family supporting Taylor and all of that. It's almost harder on the parents because their, friendships and camaraderie is now going to change as well. So we'll have to make sure we keep an eye on your mom when all is said and done.
She is not ready for it. She is not ready for it.
Soak it up. She doesn't have to be ready quite yet. It's all good. We'll buy some time. What are you majoring in, Taylor?
Mass. It's called mass media here, but at St. Cloud it was called mass communications. So it's just like I wanted to go into broadcasting because St. Cloud, that's their #1 program. Mm-hmm. But Mankato doesn't offer that. It's like the school next to it, like Bethany or
Bethany Lutheran. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Again, too much public speaking. Maybe I'll change route. So now still in mass comm, but I kind of want to go more into like the public relations side of things. Really like doing that. Really like writing, doing like press releases. I figured like I was actually pretty good at it after one of like the writing classes I was in. So I was like, oh, this is fun. Like I want to do this. So yeah, I kind of want to go into that. And then I'm minoring in communication studies.
Okay. Maybe there's a future for you in college athletics.
Yeah. And like, I want to too. I mean, the dream is, working for a hockey program for sure. And then other sports can trickle in there via a second option. But I would love to like work my way up one day and like just be like the head PR like specialist for like an NHL team too.
Speak it into existence. Put it out there. It's what's going to happen. We're going to make it happen. How's that?
Yeah. Fingers
crossed.
Right.
Now we're going to get to know you even better, because now I'm going to ask you a bunch of random questions that you're going to have to answer for me pretty quickly. This is my favorite. Well, I say this a lot. It's like my favorite part because I feel like I learn so much about everyone that I talk to, regardless of early questions or late questions, but the late ones are fun. So here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
Sweater or hoodie?
Hoodie.
Phone call or text?
FaceTime. Does that count?
No one's gone that route. I like it. This is bold. Change it up. Neither. She said neither. FaceTime. How about card game or board game?
Card game.
Starbucks or Caribou?
Caribou.
What do you get at Caribou?
I've kind of been rocking with the campfire mocha, but it has to be hot because I can't do it over ice. It just doesn't taste right. But an ice drink, I do an ice caramel crafted press, light ice.
This is my favorite question. You all are so particular about the coffee drinks. Mm-hmm. It's what a world we're living in. Oceans or mountains?
I've never seen a mountain, so I'll have to say ocean.
Okay, or we just need to get you to the mountains. But I mean, you probably still say oceans, I feel like. Pen or pencil?
Pen.
When you go to the movies, are you a popcorn or candy person?
Both, but I do gravitate towards the popcorn, and I ask them to put like extra butter on it. I don't know, something about movie theater popcorn butter. It's like, I love it so much. It's so addicting.
Yeah, if they sold that, I'm sure, I mean, obviously they do. This is going to sound ridiculous, but I agree. There's something about warm movie theater popcorn butter. Like, that's not something that, like, I can't recreate that in my house.
No, like, it's amazing. Like, I've tried putting like a block of butter in like the microwave to like drizzle on my popcorn. No, doesn't taste that good. Something about it.
Passenger or driver?
Driver.
Morning person or night owl?
I'm a night owl. I hate mornings.
Dinner or dessert?
see, you always ask this and everyone says dessert. And I'm like, God, I'm a dinner person. I like the savory rather than like sweet. So I'm like, okay, I got to change it up here. But I mean, obviously I like desserts too, but sometimes when I'm like eating the dessert after dinner, I'm like, well, I want the dinner again. Like, let me put that to the side and like keep eating my meal.
The best part about this is that you just confirmed that you've watched some of these, which makes me feel amazing that you've watched some of these before. You're right, though. You're very right. I feel like the common theme has been dessert. So I'm happy that you went your own route there. Road trip or plane trip?
Ooh, road trip, just because the airports are just too much of a hassle.
Fair. Dogs or cats?
Cats. Cats. Yeah.
I think this is a first as well. I think you just broke the mold on that one as well. I'm trying to remember. Somebody's cat was right next to them when she said dog, and she was like, I hope my cat, who was it? Oh, that's going to bother me. Anyway, that was a good episode too. Netflix or Hulu?
Hulu right now.
Dine in or delivery?
Delivery. And I'm not ashamed to say I bought the Dash Pass on DoorDash because I hate going out and getting food.
So good. So good. That was just a plug right there for in case they're watching, you should hire Taylor.
They want to sponsor me.
Okay, last one. And now this one shouldn't be that hard for you if you've watched. So what's one word that you would use to describe yourself as a hockey player?
Big. I don't know, big. I'm a big girl. I'm 6 foot. Other than that, like I don't even touch someone, and sometimes they just blink right off me and I get a penalty. So I have to say big.
Okay. I hope someone's quoting this. Sometimes I just touch someone and they blink right off me. It's the quote of our whole session. It's fantastic. No one's ever used that one either. So you're just like all day, Taylor. You're bringing the heat. You're giving everybody a new standard of things to use. This is so great. I can't wait to be there Sunday and to see the excitement of you, your teammates of St. Thomas. Obviously, that game is a highlight of our weekend, but we've got a busy, incredible weekend of hockey in the WCHA this weekend. We've got a rivalry with St. Cloud and Bemidji. We've got the border battle with Minnesota and Wisconsin. We've got a top 10 matchup in Columbus with Duluth and Ohio State. And obviously this new rivalry between St. Thomas and Minnesota State Mankato that's going to be capped off Sunday outdoors at Blakesley Stadium at 1:00 p.m. So for all of those watching, all that info you can always find on our website, wcha.com. All of our games are streamed on B1G+. Lots of ways to watch the young women of the WCHA. Taylor, good stuff today. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Good luck this weekend.
Thanks. Roll Mavs.